So, it's about 8 o'clock. It's time to get our homeschool day started. But actually, my homeschool day starts the night before. So, after Jayla goes to bed, I usually come back to my office and I have to complete assignments from my classes I teach online. And then I have to prepare her classes for the next day. So here's our schedule. This is my work schedule. This is her class schedule. And then that's my schedule outside of work.
So after we get ready for bed, I work in my office from 10 to 12 doing feedback on my online students' work. And then I write Jayla's schedule down. Now our class days differ. Some days we just do math and lit, some days we only focus on science, and then she has outside extracurriculars, but I want to make sure she's prepared for her day. She knows what work she has to do independently, and she also knows what work she's going to complete with me.
When I first wake up, sometimes my mom is in the class, so I go ahead and complete the things that I need to do independently. I usually wait for my mom to get out of her class, so I do the things I have to do independently first. Some things I have to do daily is the keyboard, a brain game, and watching CNN 10. Today for science, I need to make a new observation chart for my seeds. By then, my mom will come downstairs and we'll cook and eat breakfast.
Daughter, did you complete your morning work?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do CT at 4. I have a class right now, but hold on. What are you reading?
All right then.
You have book club next week. Hey, love. What are you working on?
I'm almost finished.
Excellent. Well, you need to go ahead and wrap that up. I just finished my last class. Went pretty well. Had some new learners in there. Left your binder in my office.
Oops.
No problem. We're about to start CT time. And we're starting chapter 5 of Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. And I'm kind of excited. Chapter 5 opens with a poem from Langston Hughes. And we were just discussing Langston Hughes in our poetry unit. Do you remember which poem we were discussing?
I Too Sing America.
Yes, I Too Sing America. So, I'm going to go ahead and open with this. I think we might get through chapter 5 today. And then I'm going to have you find an analect that matches what we're discussing today. But I want to open up with the poem. What's a piece of the poem? It's not the whole poem. Well, son, I tell you.
Academics are important, but so is our physical and mental health. So on the days that we can't make it to the gym and it's cold out, we have to do it indoors. So we run stairs, we do our crunches, we do our weights, and then we shower and eat dinner and get ready for bed so we can do it all over again.
All right. Brush your teeth already?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. It's time for reading. I'll read a chapter. You read a chapter. I read a chapter. Cool.
So why do you homeschool?
There's a long story behind that. I always felt that I'm my child's first teacher, of course, but working in a traditional public school setting and working at international schools, I kind of had a different view on how the school system works. And when my daughter was having some difficulties in school, not due to academics, and she asked to be homeschooled, that's when I decided to make it happen, and that's why we started homeschooling.
How do you homeschool?
I'm not quite sure there's a term for how we homeschool. It's a little mix of unschooling. There's a little bit of traditional schooling in there with our schedule, but not really, because we don't spend 6 hours a day with 40-minute blocks on every subject. So it's kind of a mix of eclectic homeschooling. We do what works best for us. Sometimes our schedule changes monthly, sometimes it changes by the quarter, but we've figured out different methods that work best for us. So we may not do math every day, we may not do science every day, but we're certainly exceeding the standards that they have in traditional public schools.
And what advice would you give to others that have started homeschooling?
The first piece of advice I always give to any family that's journeying into homeschooling is to de-school. Forget everything you know about school and find out what works for you. You have to know what your why is. If you pulled your children out of school for a specific reason, it's not going to help if you just try to model the system that you've already decided to leave. So Jayla, how long have you been homeschooled?
I'd say about 4 years, but even when I was still in school, my mom still taught me a few things.
Okay. What do you like about homeschool?
Not having to wake up at 6 in the morning and having a free schedule.
What's one thing you would change about being homeschooled?
Nothing actually.
So you have an eclectic homeschool approach, but you're also a world schooler. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's basically kind of simple. I travel the world and I'm homeschooled at the same time. That's the best way I can explain it, though.
So do you remember the official reason why we started homeschooling?
No.
So I was already teaching at a school, and I was also working online, teaching online, and Jayla was supposed to be tested to advance from first grade to the second grade. And I had numerous conversations with the teacher, and she wasn't getting back to me. She told me, oh, Jayla's already been tested, we're just waiting for the results. And I happened to see the social worker at the school, and I said, hey, how are Jayla's test results? And she didn't know what I was talking about. So, having the background working in school, they try to first talk in circles, and I'm like, no, I totally understand the jargon. You cannot tell me something other than the truth. And I also worked as a parent advocate, so I was kind of the wrong person. So an email was sent to the principal, her teacher, and the superintendent because they wanted me to wait to have a meeting until the next semester, which would start in December. This issue started back in September. As soon as I sent the message to everyone, all parties involved, I had a meeting scheduled that week. In this meeting, the teacher said, I don't know what to do when I'm supposed to advance students. I know what to do when I'm supposed to hold them back. She knew how to do an IEP. She knew how to do all these things, but she didn't have the resources to help a child who was advanced, which concerned me. It was a class full of brown babies, and she was skilled to hold them back, but not to challenge them. And through this process, Jayla was getting, I don't know, how did you feel like?
Well, I found it kind of frustrating because I had already told all of these people that I was going to be going up a grade, and everyone thought that I was lying and never believed me.
Yeah. So instead of pulling her out in the middle of the year, which I was 100% ready to do, I let her finish out the school year, and she did take the test, and she ended up being transferred to second grade. She had a great teacher, and also her kindergarten teachers were amazing as well. Prior to that, when she was in pre-K, she also had a teacher that I wasn't a big fan of. There was a whole Christopher Columbus issue that took place. But that was also the year I decided to kind of get out of, the rat race, because I was working 4 jobs, 3 online and 1 at actual physical school. And we traveled for a year while we're homeschooling, world schooling. Then we came back, homeschooled regularly in Georgia, which I loved because they had a ton of different programs there.
And it wasn't always snowing.
Yeah, moved back to Minnesota. Haven't been here for a year. We started traveling again, and now we're starting our next adventure. Hope you stay tuned.